Thank you everyone for joining in today and to the committee for inviting me to speak today. I'm Michel. I'm an associate scientist at the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. And today I'm going to talk about chemical sensing in extreme environments in the ocean and how we can think of these technologies as approaches for possibly exploring ocean worlds. So when we think about ocean worlds, a key question to answer is how can technologies be developed for chemical sensing in the ocean inform the chemical exploration of ocean worlds? In the ocean, we look at chemical sensing as an alternative or a parallel to sampling. There are several reasons why sensing can be advantageous to sampling. First, it can provide real-time analysis in situ at the source. Second, it allows us to obtain data from remote, extreme, and hostile environments. We can often get many more measurements than is possible with sampling. This can allow us to gain spatial and temporal data and enable long-term measurements. As we think about these reasons, the same reasons apply for the exploration of our ocean and for ocean worlds. In our ocean, there are many environments that will benefit from sensing technologies. When we consider the need to look at gas analysis, including dissolved gas analysis, there's a need to measure these gases, especially methane and carbon dioxide, in places such as estuaries, methane seeps, hydrothermal vents, submarine volcanoes, and methane hydrates. In addition, the Arctic is a place we want to do a lot more chemical sensing. When we look at deep ocean environments, there are several examples of bubble plumes. On the left are carbon dioxide bubbles being emitted from a submarine volcano. On the right are methane bubbles being released at a methane seep. The ability to capture and directly analyze these bubbles in these high pressure environments can help us to understand gas sources to the ocean. At hydrothermal vents, hot fluids are released. On the left is a video showing a vent plume at the Pescadero Basin vent field in the Gulf of California. On the right is a brine pool, a highly saline, warm fluid pool located in the Gulf of Mexico. We've been developing technologies that can enable us to sense and analyze these fluids in situ. Such sensors can inform technologies for ocean worlds. Finally, the development of technologies for sensing icy environments, such as the Camiac on the left, that is equipped with a suite of gas sensors, or the NUI vehicle, the NUI under ice vehicle, can be used to inform exploration of icy ocean worlds. Some of the technologies that we've developed for ocean exploration can help to inform ocean worlds exploration. I'm going to talk about some of these technologies today. In my research group, we have focused a lot of attention on laser spectroscopy, where a laser is passed through an absorbing gas. The amount of light collected by a detector is proportional to the concentration of the gas present. Specific gases can be targeted by selecting a laser that emits at the same wavelength that the target gas absorbs light. By using tunable lasers, multiple gases can be detected, or multiple isotopes of a single gas can be measured. Laser spectroscopy can be used to determine the isotopes of a gas. This can be coupled with mass spectroscopy to measure a suite of gases. By coupling these two technologies, we have shown we can simultaneously determine concentrations of gases and the isotopic signatures of carbon dioxide and methane. These data shown here were collected at the Pescadero vent site in the Gulf of California. This is mass spectrometry data with temperature data shown on the top. High temperature fluids up to 288 degrees C were measured at this site. You can see from these figures that the high temperature fluids contain a suite of gases that the mass spectrometer can allow us to identify. Now, methane is a key gas that we have analyzed at Pescadero Basin. By bringing a laser spectrometer to measure the carbon isotopes of methane, along with the mass spectrometer to measure the concentration of methane, we can gain a greater understanding of the processes that are occurring at this location. The Abyss lander was developed at Harvard University to be an autonomous biogeochemical instrument for in situ studies. You can see the Abyss deployed at the Cascadia margin on the right. The Abyss can serve as a simple to deploy observatory for studying the ocean. The Abyss operates in a low power state that can then trigger instruments that require higher power to start measurements. It was developed to enable onboard seawater incubations, preservation, and analysis. It operates in a semi-autonomous mode and uses an optical modem for offloading data and communications. The Abyss is equipped with a geochemical sensor suite and a biological sampler suite. In addition, the Abyss has a sampling probe, cameras, batteries, enabling long-term deployments. The Abyss utilizes an optical modem for sending data back to a vehicle, which can relay the data streams to the surface. Imagine future deployments where a vehicle can relay the data, but such an observing system can remain on the seafloor. This could be an approach to consider in ocean worlds. Another spectroscopic technique that is capable of in situ chemical analysis is laser-induced breakdown spectroscopy, or LIBS. A high-powered laser is used to form a plasma in water, and then the emitted light is analyzed by a spectrometer, providing elemental analysis of a sample. A deep-sea system was developed by Thornton et al. And deployed on an ROV. Such a system can be used to analyze hydrothermal vent fluids. LIBS has already been used by NASA on the Mars Curiosity rover as part of its ChemCam package for geochemical analysis. As we look forward in the development of technologies for ocean sensing, we aim to have small, low-power, easy-to-use sensors that can be deployed on a variety of platforms. To achieve our science goals, we want sensors that are highly reproducible, highly accurate. Results must be comparable to those made in labs. We want to be able to detect small changes. We want high-resolution measurements. And when we think about the engineering goals of sensor development, we want sensors that are small, consume little power, that are platform agnostic, that are low unit per capital cost, are low maintenance and operating, and be able to run unattended. We want them to be robust, durable, and reliable. We want real-time data, or at least ease of access to data, ease of mass production, and ease and frequency of calibration. We've been examining ways to bring small, low-cost sensing to the ocean. Some examples of small, low-cost sensors that we've developed are shown here. We've looked at borrowing sensors from other fields and adapting them to the ocean. For example, we've looked at ways to measure carbon dioxide, oxygen, hydrogen sulfide, and methane, along with measuring temperature and pressure. Another approach we've looked at is developing nanophotonic lab-on-a-chip sensors. This approach uses these tiny chips that are fabricated along with approaches that selectively bind a certain gas. And it has the benefit that there does not need to be a gas extraction approach. Instead, the chip can be exposed to the water or fluid directly, and it can be measured directly in the dissolved phase. This approach was recently described in Blevins et al. Another approach that my group and other groups have been developing is fiber-based sensing. This approach uses advances in hollow core fibers that enable a gas to enter into the fiber. The fiber, therefore, becomes the gas cell. We can couple lasers and detectors to the fiber to detect the target gas. Since fibers are tiny, the sensing approach can be made quite small. Comes a need to connect sensors with autonomy. You can see on the right data from a sensor moving over an area with a chemical plume. Using informative path planning, we want to be able to make decisions on how to effectively chemically map an area. This leads to the question on how can a sensor inform the plan of our robots? This is an approach that will improve our ability to chemically map our own ocean, add efficiency to the exploration of ocean worlds. As we look forward, how can we develop technologies for both our ocean and ocean worlds? We should partner with industry and academics in other fields, for example, the biomedical field, where sensing approaches are often aimed at fluid analysis. We must look for new ideas in sensor technologies. We need to advance centers for development, testing, and calibration, and use rapid prototyping techniques. The fields can work together through large multi-institution centers and research programs. We want to shorten the timeline to field testing and reduce the time it takes from getting an idea to funding to seed time. We need to interface with computer scientists, such as in the fields of autonomy and machine learning. We want to interface sensors and vehicles, take the human out of the loop when possible, and do multi-vehicle operations or vehicle platform interactions. Our goal is to test instruments in extreme environments using our own ocean as the platform. We also need to work with materials engineers on new lightweight materials. Finally, I want to thank you all for listening today, and I'd like to thank my research group and the many people who've been part of these sensor development projects. I'd especially like to thank the funding agencies who've enabled these development projects to happen. Thank you.